Welcome back to another Patreon video. And in this week's episode, we're in the Discovery Dojo again, and we're going to be talking about Ultra, and in specific, how you can go about preparing for your own Ultra event. We're going to be going deeper down the rabbit hole and expanding that endurance tech and talking about how you could structure something like this yourself. Just quickly before we get into it, when I say ultra, it literally refers to anything. It can be a 5-minute run, a 10-minute run, a 20-minute ride, a 1-hour ride, 2-week ride, 3-week ride, year-long ride. It doesn't have to be anything. It can just be anything that you perceive as ultra endurance, okay? So you can apply it to anything. It doesn't even have to be sport. In this video, we're gonna be talking about why you would wanna do an ultra event in the first place, how to determine the training duration, and lastly, we're gonna be talking about warming up. So I'm really excited to get into it, and I hope that I can impart some of the lessons I've learned from doing these ultra events. Firstly, I wanna say this. I think it would be a crime for you not to experience the full potential of your body and mind in the context of sport at least once in this lifetime. Once is enough, if approached correctly, to extract all the insight that will be of tremendous benefit to you in the future. The main things that will be of benefit to your life are getting thoroughly acquainted with your mind and disempowering and disarming the negative thinking patterns that just have a Bulgarian chokehold on us most of our lives and just suffocate us to the point where we feel like we have no control. Ultra really provides these benefits in two ways. And the first way is exposure time. Over the course of, for example, 2 weeks, you can have over 250 hours of solo exposure time to a specific activity. That's really hard to get in any other endeavor. For example, if you trained 1 hour a day, 7 days a week, solo, it would take over 30 weeks for you to achieve that exposure time. The solo aspect of it is really critical. And if I just reflect on my own experience where I've done long bike rides with friends, I can tell you what happened. Your mind, when it's with a group of people doing an ultra, has this tendency to not accept responsibility for how it feels and deflect onto others. Like, you might be out there and legitimately think that Tommy's ass crack is the reason why you're feeling uncomfortable, or it's his pedal stroke, or he hyperventilates through his mouth, he doesn't nose breathe, or he eats with his mouth open. This is the stupid shit your mind will do to convince you that he's the problem and not you. When you strip everything away and it's just yourself, your mind will project outwards for a bit, but eventually it turns its energy inward. Now, this can be an extremely uncomfortable situation, but it's exactly what needs to happen because it puts you at the ground and at the source. It's literally like holding a magnifying glass over your mind. Now, you throw in a bit of fatigue and it gets spicy, and as the fatigue increases, the magnification is also increasing at the same rate. And at times, you'll be able to observe the absolute fuckery that can pop up. I'm talking fuckery that will make you shit your pants in fear. The scariest things out there on the road, nothing compares to the contents of your own mind. Literally nothing. That's what is so juicy about the ultra, is that it gives you the opportunity to disarm and disempower thoughts in real time. Virtually because you have no option. You either disarm, disempower them and keep going, or you fuse to them, you bind them, you take them to be real, and you pull over on the side of the road and you hitchhike or catch a taxi home. I've literally done both of those things. The reason I'm saying that these are the two main benefits, right? Because there's multiple benefits. There's food, there's like the views, there's the people you meet, but these two main benefits I'm saying, they are long-term, sustainable, and don't vanish as soon as the race, as soon as the stimulus is gone. The food, the people, all of that will exist as a memory in your mind. And if you're not recalling that memory, aka recalling the past, that sense of joy will dissipate. It will go. I've had that 4 or 5 times now. What doesn't go? The mental hardware you install from training and completing an ultra. That is what stays. That is what is helping you dig down to your own inner resource of well-being. Your interpretation of the world is completely different. It's not a sense of joy that you're extracting from the situation, like the views or the food, but it's something you're bringing to it now. That, in my mind, is an inspiring reason, a genuine, authentic reason to do an ultra. The self-realization and the update of the hardware, the internal hardware, never gets old. It's really important that we linger here because the main obstacle people face when they're doing any event, 5 minute, 10 minute, 1 hour, multi-day, is they don't have a why. It's rooted out here in the temporary space, not dependent on them, and it just gets uprooted and lifted out quickly, and suddenly they don't have a reason to keep going. If we don't establish a strong why straight away, everything can fall apart, and it's literally 70% of the process. So we do need to linger. And it makes me reflect on a quote from Nietzsche, not even sure, where he says, "He who has a why to live for can bear almost anyhow." You're grabbing your why, and instead of rooting it in this temporary space, which is dependent on other people and other things and can literally be snapped away in a second, and you find yourself there on the side of the road like, why the fuck am I doing this? Whether it be the praise of other people, whether it be for the food, for the view, whatever, for the food, the views, all of that can just be gone. The food can be terrible. Once enough fatigue is in, you do not care about what anyone thinks of you. And you're grabbing it from that space, which is completely not dependent on you, and you're rooting it firmly, deeply in yourself, where it's literally like, as long as you're still breathing, your why is still there. What is more powerful of a why than the why we just talked about? The liberation of your own suffering through the development of these mental tools. That is so strong, you'll easily be able to get through anything. Now, it sounds like a paradoxical statement, you know what I mean? Liberating your own suffering through enduring extreme physical suffering. It sounds backwards. Now let me download something onto you right now. And literally after this, you can turn the video off. If you just fathom this one statement I'm about to share with you, you don't need to watch the rest. And plus, you'll save a shitload of time. Ultra is not about learning how to suffer. It's about learning how not to. God willing, if I do my job right, I can impart the truth of that statement onto you in the next few videos.